Shout out to Malky, Mariana, Guati. Love this character. Check out their work. Let's make this little creature come to life in 3D. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's bring in our reference image, boom. Import photos. Transform. Whoop. Transform. And I think that's pretty good. All right, so let's get rid of this. First, let's change it from lit PBR to matcap. We're using PXG clay, orthographic, so we're good there. So the first thing I want to do is make a floor. Let's just delete this sphere. We'll add a cylinder, and we'll line it up with the red horizon line. And let's see, put that up to 2 and just bring this down a little bit. We'll just have a little something round like that. So now we have a little round disc, and now we can validate, because we might get rid of this thing later too. We'll see. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger and then just bring it down a little bit more. Okay. Get rid of the grid. So now I can start sculpting. So I think for the head and the neck, let's add a cylinder. We'll use Gizmo to move it up. So we just need to make this neck area that narrows towards the bottom of the neck and is sort of squarish at the top. And actually, let's not tilt it yet. So let's just work on one thing at a time. So we'll use radius, and we'll get that going like that. That feels about right. Something like that. So we need to make it square. So we'll tap those 3 little dots. These only show up if you haven't validated. We don't want to validate yet. So let's put the topology down to 4. And let's put the subdivision. Okay, so let's turn off smooth shading. So let's go to the materials, smooth shading off. So that's a little bit closer to what we need. The only thing that and just so you know, when I'm gonna build him, I wanna build him assuming that he's looking straight at us. I don't wanna build it sideways. I wanna build it so it's like he's looking straight at us. So we'll go flip back and forth, but I'm just thinking about the head and the neck and what it would look like looking straight towards us. So we need to rotate this so that this flat side is forward facing us. We don't want the corner facing us. So we will use snap over here. There's 2 snaps. You want the one with the little angle thing. And we'll do that at 45. And then we'll rotate it. Whoops. And then we'll rotate it 45 degrees. So now I want to just adjust the pivot so that the pivot is also facing us. So I want to tap pivot here. And I put snap back on at 45, so it's going to snap the pivot. So let's just snap it like that. So that way it's facing us. And we'll hit the pivot again. And that's much better to work with. All right, so this will be sort of like the neck, kind of in this direction. This lower part of his chin will kind of be around here. And I need to block everything out. So I'm gonna shrink this just because it's kind of big. So I'm gonna shrink it and just move it. Do I wanna move it anywhere? Yeah, I'll move it up towards us. So that'll be kind of like the neck area. So now we just have to figure out this part, which I think we could probably do with a tube. The only thing that annoys me about a tube is it's not exactly in the middle. So that's my only point of concern with using a tube. I'm trying to think of other ways that we can do it. So let's change this to neck. Let's add another cylinder. We'll use gizmo and we'll use snap. And we'll just turn it left. It's at 45, so we have to do it twice. So I think we can use this cylinder. We'll shrink it. We'll tap here and then tap radius. And we need to make one side small and then one side is a little bit bigger. So this is going to be this section here. So I'll hit right and then I'll just use my gizmo to kind of move it into place. It's kind of at the base. Oops, it's kind of at the base of his neck. Stretch it a little bit. I'll do a little bit of twisting so it kind of matches the overall feel of everything. I might as well start doing that now. So I'll take this one and that feels about right. This needs to be longer, I think. I'm going to take it off of a line so I can maybe a little bit bigger. Stretch it out this way. Neck is pretty long. Okay, so something like that. So now this back part, that looks like it could be, let's see. I want to try to keep it a little bit squared. Everything is kind of squared. So maybe, well, I guess it's not really going to be squared. You know what? Let's just use, did I validate this yet? I don't think so. Let's just name this shoulder area. Barrel body. Okay, so I'm gonna now just flip this. Much bigger. Take it off of snap. Okay, so it's sort of like this. And this kind of winds up being like shoulders kind of thing, which is kind of cool. I don't mind that at all. So I might just keep it there for now. I need to move everything except for the cylinder. So the neck kind of goes, and there's a big part here that goes underneath. So I'll move these up. Just make everything smaller. Make sure we have plenty of room for the legs. Okay, now for something like this, do I want to do a tube or do I want to make it in shapes? That is the question. And also the neck part. I think it might be easier to use a sphere underneath there. So let's add a sphere. Let's rename it underbelly. So I'll shrink it. It's actually quite big. But I think that's pretty good. Then it goes off, it's off the ground a little bit. So I think something like this. I guess I am going to do it. I guess I am going to kind of do it out from the side. I didn't think that I would sculpt it that way, but that's okay. So we'll validate it. We'll use move. And now the symmetry should be right down the front. If I put show symmetry, okay, so I don't have to worry about the other side if we're using symmetry. So it looks like this goes up to here. And this goes straight down. To something like that. Yeah, I'll bring this bottom part in a little bit more. And maybe I'll bring the top part out a little bit. That looks pretty good. We're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. I don't care what anyone tells us. Okay, so this shape, I think this might be best as a tube. Again, my only issue with tubes is that they don't that you can't get them like perfectly straight, and that does really annoy me, especially when I'm making like the paint and stuff like that. So that's the only thing that I could do it with spheres though. I could do it with, you know what, let's do it with cylinders. So let's take this cylinder, let's clone it, tail A. So what we'll do is we'll just do the same thing, flip it around. I'm just going to change this to 90 so that it'll just do 90. And now we just literally have to align it with everything else. Oh, let's take it off snap. Okay, so this part goes up and then it's like straight. So one thing I'm seeing is it looks like okay, the neck is a little bit bigger, it looks like. It's a little bit bigger that way. Oh, let me make sure oh, you know what happened? And I've had this happen sometimes before. The gizmo will reset back to its original place. Ah, that's annoying. So I'm going to do snap 45 again. And then snap it. And then hit pivot. And what I want the gizmo to really stay this way. But I'm not sure how to get it to stay like this. So I won't have that issue again. So when I'm looking from the side, I just want to have it bigger like this. Okay. So that looks good. I think the body and the barrel body and the underbelly can be a little bit bigger too. We're losing that neck part, aren't we? We're kind of losing this neck part. But maybe we don't need it. We'll put it there just in case we need it, but I'm not certain. So this I want to stretch and tilt it a little bit more. Because you see this is kind of going back. So I think that looks better. Let's make sure we're using radius, and we can make this part smaller. Okay, so this part goes into the regular part of the tail, and then let's see. Or I think we can use, it's tail A. Let's clone it. Tail. Did I use the wrong tail? Am I using the wrong tail? Tail end. Tail as old as time. So we'll take tail end, snap. Okay, so let's think about these. Let's think about this shape here. So this comes down, but this is round here. So I'm going to validate this, and I'm going to use move, and this needs to be round. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It looks crazy, but I think it actually could work. Let's go back to this. Let's make it smaller. And stretch these out so they touch. So that looks pretty good there. I wish I could add a node. That would be so great. But I might be able to just pull it. I wonder if I make it longer here. Okay, so that goes over. This gets slightly bigger. This will be so much easier with the tube. But I think I can just maneuver it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll make it a little bit longer, and then I'm going to validate it and use move. Because if we're using move, then we have the symmetry going for us. Okay. So now I'm looking at a shape again, overall shape again. So tail end and tail, they can be a little bit bigger, and they can be a little thicker this way. I'll move this up a bit. Make that a little smaller. Now this guy is interesting because I have to, oh, did I already validate that? I should have made it into a, let's use select mask and rectangle. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to mask off this front area. This part I'm going to shrink down. I'll shrink it to a point, and I can actually shape it a bit too, come to think of it, just using the gizmo. Okay, that's actually not too terrible, so I'll clear that. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. I'm going to use smooth. Okay, it's very fragile. So maybe I should just voxel remesh these two together. Wait, did that work? I want to voxel remesh at a precise number that I'm aware of. Okay, so 175. So let's just smooth all of this. We'll probably merge it all again anyway, so that's okay. So this is looking pretty good. Let's take everything but the cylinder, just move it up a pinch. Okay, let's use some spheres and let's do these arms and legs. I'm not sure when everything moved, but apparently everything moved a little bit. Let's see if I move origin and then I can move it straight up. That works, because I don't know when it moved. Let's do a quick save. Let's save as new tree dino. Maybe tree dragon is better. Okay, so let's add a cylinder in the front. Let's make some shoulder blades. We'll mirror them. I'm just going to label this shoulders. I'm going to make sure we're in the right spot. Wait a minute. Oh, it's gotta make sure you're on the sphere. Okay, nice. So we got the shoulders pretty much in the right spot as I continue to move them, as always. So then we just have this part, which could be a cylinder. Or a tube. Could be a tube. We'll do path. We don't need snap. Let's just do a really easy tube right here. Okay, so something like this. So this can be this area, this little armpit area, which leads me to believe that I have to make this and the shoulders a little bit lower. And maybe this a little bit lower too, the underbelly. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So with the tube, I'm going to hit radius so we can adjust all of them. I'll make this wider to kind of sync up with the sphere. Maybe this a little bit smaller. So then we have this shape as well. What is that shape? Maybe another tube is the best way to go. So this will be upper arm. And we can go ahead and mirror it. Hopefully it mirrors on the other side. Perfect. So this is upper arm. Oops. And then I think maybe another tube on the bottom. We could use a cylinder, to be honest. No, but it's more like a funnel. I'm not sure a cylinder would be the best thing to do. So let's use another tube. Sorry about the constant walking upstairs. The constant creaking, floor creaking. Okay, so let's go back to the tube options and just kind of get this how we need it to be. I'm going to add another node in the middle, and I also want to use the all radius. So we can kind of get this how it needs to be. So I'm thinking something like this. And we'll just have to use some other tools to kind of, you know, get it so it's dragging. So the elbow part is up a little higher. Because I don't know if I can lift it up a little higher. See if I can use the gizmo and sort of squeeze it together. Kind of works. This is almost like straight down, actually. So that's not bad. That's not bad. So general assessment of the size. It looks a little, everything looks big. Because if the body is here, this body will have to be longer. There's a lot of space between this elbow and this arm, so I think this arm needs to be, let's use a line so I can move it straight up. So we have this part of the neck, of the shoulder, and you know what? I'm gonna move this up. Like this. And I'm gonna validate this bottom part and just do round edge, make it a little bit smaller. And I wanna move it up because it's a little hard for me to, sometimes I rely on the other shapes in order to get the general size of everything. Apologize for the moving of furniture upstairs. Okay, so something like that. It's not bad. I want to take these spheres and I want to drag them. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to get this in order. Even if this neck part, I probably have to make this bigger. Because sometimes not everything is going to really translate perfectly. So, okay, I'm okay with this. I'm liking this so far. So I have to take the underbelly and I have to make that longer. I should do everything this way. Otherwise, I'm going to make it harder for myself while I'm editing. I have to think of the edits. Okay, so now he has some belly behind that arm, which is exactly what I wanted. This can kind of get a little bit wider here because the belly is kind of lower. So actually, let's shrink the belly here. Maybe we'll just make this wider. This front part of the neck wider. And the underbelly, there's kind of a hard, there we go. I think that's a little bit better. But then this whole thing, I'm just going to validate this piece, because this piece needs to come down, because I think that might help me with the coloring as well. And then I'll take this piece and make it a little wider, just so that belly part is kind of poking down. Okay, how does the tail look? The tail, it looks okay. I think it can definitely be bigger. And also the shape is a little different. So I need to this needs to be more, yeah, there we go. Needs to be more, I know I get so excited when something looks decent. But I feel like that's a much better match. And the curve looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. Okay, now these leggies, I think we want to do, they look nice and like chubby. Let's do a quick save. Maybe I'll add spheres. The origin of the leg is fairly small. I'll have to think about width too, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's take this and open it up a bit. Oh, but then it opens up the front too though. So in that case, I'll just use move, and I just want to make it a little wider. He strikes me as a character that would have a strong constitution, so I want to make sure that's nice and wide. And now we'll take the leg, the base part of the back leg, and I can just figure out where to put it. So it's right before the tail. And let's mirror it. Let's not mirror it yet. Let's validate it first without mirroring it. So this will be back leg, back-o, back leg, top. So let's do symmetry and then go here, go to vertical and do vertex, or go to vertex and do vertex. Because it's on vertex and it'll be on automatically, but we want it on vertex. So then we take the zoom in so we can figure out the symmetry. Let's go to local, uncheck X, check Y. So now we can use the arrow and we can spread this like so. Take symmetry off, put this back to auto, shrink it a little bit. Okay, so let's figure this out now. We have a better shape for the top part of the leg, I think. So it's right at the base of the tail, a little bit further back, I think. It's tilted back a little bit. I'm gonna take it off of a line so I can stretch it a little bit more. Okay, so back leg top. I'm gonna use another sphere. We'll shrink and bring over here. And I like the back leg. It's just kind of like sort of loose, and I'll mirror it, validate it. I'll use move. So I just want to keep it nice and round. And I'm going to squish it because I don't think it needs to be that wide. Okay, so something like this I think looks good. Again, with the height is so tricky. Because he's sort of like on his tippy toes. But yet it feels kind of balanced. So maybe it's just the back. Maybe the back, I need to bring this up some. And then bring the tail up. Always wants to rotate instead of move. Make it a little smaller. And maybe a little smaller at the base of the tail. So I'm just using flatten to kind of just kind of flatten out the base of the tail. That's a little better. And maybe this can be a little bit smaller. So I'll move it up and forward a bit. So there's a nice spot for the knee. I want to make sure that the outside is kind of rounded. Bend this side in a little bit. I can adjust this to the back part of the leg now, kind of making this a little bit smaller. Okay, so on the bottom, I really want the bottom part to be wide on the very bottom. Okay, that's decent. So the toes, I think I just want him to have 2 toes back there. I'm gonna do a quick save. Back, leg, calf. So that's the back leg, calf. Let's add another. Do I want to do a sphere or do I want to do... Yeah, let's just do a sphere. So we'll just kind of adjust it so it looks like toes. Kind of coming off. It's still a bit too... I'm always like seeing things in the that I want to change, and I always decide to change them before I forget. Okay, that looks good. It doesn't look like it should be a little bit longer, but the leg. Boom, boom, boom. Let's move it back a little bit. Maybe shrink it a little bit. This, I'm going to shrink a little bit this way. All right, so this is going to be the bottom part of the foot. So let's trim this. I'm going to use line, and we just want to trim this bottom part. I should get it perfect first. So I just want to line it up with the... Actually, we might not even need to trim it. Is it mirrored? Let's mirror it and validate it. Just make sure it's in the middle. Well, it can be a little bit off to the right, or a little bit up towards the outside. I'm okay with that. So let's see if I can drag it so it looks even with the bottom part of the foot. That looks okay. So let's trim this little foot. I don't think it needs to be any more than that, but I want to make sure that it's in the right spot. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So let's take this shape and can I just copy the name? Copy, cancel, add mirror. I hate that the mirror doesn't take the name. That would save me so much time. Paste. Okay, and just validate them. Back leg, top. Oh, it didn't. Okay, so I did all of that, but the problem is the symmetry is on local and not world. So now I have to add the mirror when the symmetry is on world. Then it should mirror. And there's a little knee section. I don't know if I want to do the knee section. Let's just do it. So I'll add the sphere already in the mirror. Now we have a little knee section. I don't know if we'll keep it, but that's fine. So this is going to be back leg, top. Let's just validate it. Let me make sure the other side is there. Back leg, top. Okay, looks like everything is there. Okay, looks good. Everything is looking pretty decent. So I'm going to take these front part of this leg and trim the bottom. And he does have little toesies. What is the best way to do that? Oh, these are the back toes. Let's validate this. Back, leg, toes. And just start keeping everything in order. Tail A is just tail. Upper arm looks good. The neck looks good. Shoulders. All right, we'll leave that for now. So let's do these little toes. We'll use spheres, of course. I really hope you can't hear that. Now that the next door neighbors are just being really loud, yelling and whatnot. Let's go ahead and mirror it and validate it. So we need to make this into a sharp little... I guess it doesn't have to be that crazy, honestly. Let's use symmetry. Let's use local. So I'm just using flatten to kind of flatten it out, smooth it out a little bit. And then I'll just use drag to sort of make it a little more clawy. So this looks good, but we definitely need to trim it. Is it on the end of that? That's not helpful. Let's see. Let's make this bigger. Move it down to about there. So now I'm going to trim this little nail. I'm going to make drag really small so I can try to get this like the angle. It's like an angle like this is what we want. Okay, that looks pretty decent. So now I'm just going to try to smooth. It's really small. The little nails are small. So I'll shrink them a little bit. Make sure they're firmly on the ground. And now it's just positioning them where they should be. So I think maybe here. We'll clone it. Maybe put a smaller one. Here, maybe a little wider. And we'll clone that one and put one over here too. I think that looks pretty good. Might want to stretch them a little more this way, a little more up. Oops. I kind of like that. I do think that this can be a little thinner at the bottom. But I think that looks good. The only other thing I was thinking is maybe an inflate. Let's take this tube, and do I want to voxel remesh it? I think it's time to voxel remesh it to this other piece. So let's validate this tube. This is already validated. Let's get rid of these edge pieces. So let's take smooth, just kind of smooth that away. The other side we can probably smooth away as well. So I'm just going to smooth that away. I don't want that extra cylinder coming off. I want the arm just like this. And then we can take the upper arm. Oh good, that's both of them. So we'll validate that as upper arm. We'll do a quick save. And then we can voxel remesh this. 170 I think is all right. Oh, we need to multi-res, subdivide. So we'll subdivide it, and then we'll voxel remesh it around 175. Should give us way less of that issue. So I think that's pretty good. The only thing I should have done is probably trimmed it at first, because I'm sure there's part poking through the bottom. So we'll trim that. And I wanted to do inflate just around the base. Because it seems like there's a little bit of inflate there around the base. There's a little something there. It really doesn't need that small a detail, but I can't help it. I can't help it. Okay. The only other thing I'm thinking is I guess I could voxel remesh them. I might want to adjust the legs so they're not symmetrical, but we'll have to do that later. But so far, so good. This is all looking good. I want to take this and I want to drag it out. You know what? I need to remesh this. It feels like. See how it's dragging? That's not good. So I'm going to do a quick save. And you know what? Maybe we'll just voxel remesh this whole leg. So the leg top, the calf, and the toes even. I don't know if I want to do the body yet, but let's voxel remesh this piece, or these pieces, like 175. We'll remesh those. So now we can kind of just smooth them out softly. Okay, so now what I was just thinking is I kind of wanted to just drag out this piece. And just drag it into the body a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I like it. So obviously we have a little work here with this bottom leg, because now it just kind of like, that's not bad. I would like to flatten this bottom part, because that will give him a proper, like the bottom part of the foot. Of course, I do all that work and it's not, the symmetry is not on. Is that because yeah. So I need to do that again. Story of my life. And again, I'm just flattening out the bottom. So this will be like the bottom of his foot. Just smooth it very softly. See, I like that plane. I love that difference. Okay, good. Do a quick save. Okay, everything is looking pretty good. So the next thing is, so he has this tree here. I want to take move. Okay, I think I like this. Let's go ahead and, nope. Let's validate it. And then let's use multi-res. So we'll go here, multi-res, subdivide it. Oh, nope. Let's voxel remesh it first. We'll voxel remesh it at like 175. Now it should be proper. So it's 85.2, so that's good. That's where we need to be. Just thinking about the size of it. I think that looks good. We'll just straighten out this, because this looks kind of funny right now. But there's lots of things that look kind of funny. Oh, don't tell me symmetry wasn't on for this either, which means I have to do the other side as well. And it gets really tricky sometimes. Sometimes I just don't catch the symmetry. I just don't catch it. And then I wind up having to do things twice. Okay, so I think it's something like this. We'll kind of smooth it out, make it look nice and natural and smooth. And we'll smooth this out too. Okay, that's not bad. Maybe we'll go in later and why are these not like straight? I feel like that one's straight. I feel like these aren't. Where are these? Oh, they are mirrored. So if that's the case, I'm just going to take move and I'm going to adjust this to them. Okay, good. So we'll hit a quick save. I'm saving a lot because I don't want it to crash and then I lose everything. And then I'll just be upset. All right, so let's make this interesting shaped head, which I've been looking forward to. So I think I want to try move. We'll use symmetry. Turn symmetry on. Let's just try dragging this part back because it just feels right. So I'm really looking at this space in between here. It looks pretty good for now. So this comes up. And then this goes out. And that goes out, and then we have head. So what's the best way to do this? So I'm thinking we'll add a sphere. I just need to build out this base of this head, I think. I'm gonna clone this sphere. I would say that's my least favorite thing, is how you have the arrow here and then you have whatever that is, this little thing. I hate that that matches up with the arrow, so that if you're trying to move it, it does this instead of what you want it to do. Pet peeve. Okay, I'm just going to validate this. Move, symmetry is on. Move needs to be much bigger. Okay, so, oops. Sorry, this is like hard to control sometimes. Okay, so I'm thinking something like that. I want to take move and bend this down more. Just this feels like it needs to be just stretched wider. Okay. So this can be like the initial one. Okay, so now I have to start thinking about the base of the head. And this, this honestly still does not feel like wide enough to me. Okay, that's a bit better. All right, so the eyes. So I think maybe a cylinder for this little bit on the front. So this is going to be trunk main. Let's add a cylinder and just make that bit on the front. And I'm just going to do snap. I'll do 45 twice. So I'm thinking something like this. I'm just going to validate it and use move. So we need symmetry. Local. Okay, that's what we want. So we want the front and the back and the left and the right. Let me make it smaller because it's, oops, There we go. I meant to do it this way, because then it's easier to make the shape that I'm trying to make if it's narrower. So now that I have both of those, the front, back, and the left and the right will react the same. So I'm feeling a sort of shape like this. We'll move that into the head, a little bit smaller, looks like, seems like. And it looks like it's tilted down. Now we can kind of stretch it out. A little bit thinner. So I'm thinking something like this. It's pretty decent. So you know what? Let's go ahead and... Oh, it's already validated. Let's do round edge. I just got such a weird cramp in my arm. One of those things where it feels like there's an alien like under your skin or something. That was weird. Okay. I think that looks good. It seems like there would be like a plate or something here. How do I want to make that? I think I could either do it with a sphere. Like for example, with this sphere, there's a few ways to do something like this. This is like the kind of just like sculpting kind of way. So it seems like it might come from the nose and then come out a little bit under the eye, but then like almost be like a fin. So if I bend this up, and then bend the inside out a little bit. Okay, so, whoops. So what I was thinking, let's move it into the face, down, and back. So if the front part of the nose is there, I'll use drag. And we don't need symmetry because they're in a mirror. This part's going into the nose. This part doesn't need to come out that much right there. So this can actually be pushed in more. But here is where it hikes back. Let's just push in there because this hikes back. I'll use move again. And it does sort of like this. So sort of a shape like that. But it just needs to be, this part needs to be moved in. And now it's not even, unfortunately. So I'll do as much as I can, and then I'll voxel remesh it. But that's actually not bad. I could take flatten. And kind of flatten that. And I could probably push it in. You know, I might be able to even... Yeah, something like that. I think that makes sense. So this is the other side, so I'm going to push them actually away. I'm going to tap on the other one and push it away. And now once it's away, then I can bring this out a little bit more. Although it looks like it stops before the neck gets to the back. That's probably a good place for it to stop, actually. I don't like this bend in it, so I'm going to just use drag and try to make it a little as even as possible. Okay, that looks okay. That looks all right. You know, usually these things have bigger, the chest parts are bigger. So I might just have to like do that myself. Use drag. And the other thing is usually this muscle is quite prominent. So I might just make this like kind of come up a little bit, because it feels like it should. I kind of like it, but I kind of maybe if I just add a little bit that way. Let's flatten it and kind of flatten it so it kind of matches the, let's see how that looks. So a lot of what I like to do is follow these planes. You know, I like to let things flow into each other. This is okay because we can just put like muscles or whatever back there once we smooth it. But I think that looks pretty good. I do want this to be a little bit sharper. Okay, that feels a bit better. That feels better to me. Okay, so the other thing is I kind of wish that this part would extend all the way to the back, because this is all going to be the same color. But I'm not sure how to do that. I think just voxel remeshing the body together somehow is going to be the easiest way. This is going to be interesting to put together too, because I feel like I need to fill all this in. But I might be able to do that with just regular clay, honestly. As long as I'm on the neck. I could probably just fill that in with clay. Something like that. Okay, so we could use tortoises for these noses, but I think tube, because, let me do a quick save, because tube will allow us to get, it looks like flat surfaces, and I like that a lot. Oh, and see there's this little bend, so there's the nose, and there's a little bend in it. So let's take drag and like on this fin. Drag is not going to work, so let's use clay to create that. I'm actually creating the mouth. So that's the lines for the mouth. So let's use tube and let's make this part of the nose. Oh, let's use path. Perfect. I'm pretty sure that is what I wanted. So let's make it bigger. We don't have snap, so we just need to put the ends kind of into the nose a bit. Straighten that out. They might be a little big, so I'll use the gizmo and just shrink. But maybe I'll make them a little fatter. there we go. That's good enough. Yeah, so I really wanted something like this. So now we can use profile. Oh, I hate when you can see the green. Let's twist it. So we'll use the pink. So I want it to be more like that. That's actually not too bad. And you know what else we can probably do? Okay, what is this sphere? Oh, this is the, I'm going to take this tube out. This sphere is the side, what is that called? Face side fin. This tube, we can mirror itself, so that's fine. Nostrils. We can clone the whole thing and then rename it eyes. Eye cage. So we can just take this, and I'm going to use a line so I can move it straight back, up, and go back to the tube options, and then kind of figure this out. So it looks like there's a few more segments. Maybe something like that. Okay, now that I'm looking at this. Oh no, you know what? This is the top and the bottom. The top. I'm in such like, you know, I get into this mode where I'm just like looking at every single little detail at once. So these are not straight, and I think these should be straight. I wonder if I could get, oh, I kind of like that. Okay, what else? So I want to think about the size of them. If I do radius twice, then I can adjust the size of them. This one is definitely, oh, that's twist. Oh, actually, speaking of twist, maybe we should twist it more outwards for the eyes. I think that seems like it makes sense. These would definitely be wider. Get this a little higher. Oh, I like that. Maybe I'll make this one a little smaller. Back here. I think that makes sense. I do want to be able to see some of the nostril from the front. So I think I need to move these a little bit. And then maybe do the same thing and make this one smaller. Oh, it keeps twisting. I just want to make sure that I can see the nostril from the front. So it looks like if I make the nostril here, I could see it from the front. And it looks like they might be sticking out a little bit too much. So I'm going to bring them down a little bit. Maybe even just make them smaller. Yeah, that's better. Okay, this needs to go down lower. even needs to be a little thinner. That's a good area for the eye. I like that. I'm still going to push this down a bit, since that's the mouth. Pull it up a little bit more back there. That's good. Okay. You know, I was originally trying to make this so this could be a different color, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I'm not sure exactly how that will even work. Oh, I feel like the nose is too big. Because he has like a very short, stubby nose. So I'm going to try to squeeze these, push them back, and take this even and maybe push it back a little bit. So he's pretty much in this position. Now it doesn't feel long enough. Now it feels too... Maybe I even need to stretch this more. Oh, you know what else might help? If I add another... Just so I can make these a little more round. I think that would help. Okay, I'm happy with that. Oh, you know what? These actually go into the back of the neck, don't they? So let's see what that looks like. If I was to take this and have it meet up with the back of the neck, it's not bad. Let's take the neck itself and move it up a little bit. Okay, I think that might be a little bit more accurate, since now those are meeting up with the back of the neck. Okay, so now the back of the head. So if this is the angle, well, actually it's more like this. I feel like I need more space in the back of the head. Let's see if I can just straighten this out. Okay, looks decent. I kind of want to just like box remesh this stuff together, but the nose is still feels a little bit too big to me still. So you know what? I want to split the nose, and then we'll see how it looks. So let's just take rectangle and let's just split it. Not trim, but split. I don't know what I just trimmed. It wasn't the nose. Or I don't know what I just split. There we go. I want to take the bottom and make sure that it's probably even move this in a little bit. So now this all has to be nicely together. See, that's the only problem is let's make these a little smaller. Another thing I'm looking at is it doesn't feel like it's curled under it enough. I might need some more points. Yeah, I kind of want it just curled under a little bit more. So this part of the nose, I'm just going to bring up some. I'm going to get rid of the Y and just bring the sides up. This I'm going to bring up as well. Okay, I think everything looks good. I might just need to start voxel remeshing things. Try to move this up a bit. Since really the mouth line is supposed to continue from there. So we need some muscles here. I might just use inflate. Either that or we take drag and we just kind of make it work. And just have a nice sharp point here. I think that works. Okay, so this is looking a little weird underneath here, but it might look okay if it's, yeah, see, it's a little bit too, there's too much of like nothing there. So I'm going to drag this towards the tail. So that they look connected. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to take this and just move it a little bit more. That, I like that. Everything looks nice and straight. These shapes are a little weird, but I think we can fix that later on. Because we can probably do so there is flatten if we want to make the top flat, but no, actually the top is sharp. The top of the tail is sharp, so I'm going to do crease and sub and do that on the top, even though there's all those things coming off though. So maybe it's better to do a thin clay on top. It's probably a little bit better. Yeah, we need to just start voxel remeshing. So I'm gonna do a save. And let's just see what happens if we put all these things together. So face, side, fin. I don't even know what these are. These are nostrils. So this is the lower jaw. These are the nostrils. I really like the way that these look. Let's go ahead and validate them. The eye cage will validate. We might need to, for multi-res, for the eye cage and the nostrils, let's subdivide them twice. I'm going to do the same thing for the nostrils. Subdivide, subdivide. Neck is 85. So I'm just checking because sometimes if these shapes aren't, let me multi-res if there's like a vast difference, then sometimes it can look kind of bad. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in sections. It's so annoying. So I'm gonna take the neck, where's this? The trunk main, the cylinder split, not the low jaw, the side fins, not the nostrils, not the eye cage, not the shoulder area. Is there anything else up there? Oh, I have the neck. So let's try these at 240 or so. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully I can still smooth all this out. It looked really great. It's just, I know that I'm going to want to turn the neck some. And I feel it's better to do that. Before things are voxel remeshed together. I feel strongly about that. So now we have shoulder area, underbelly, which I originally wanted a different color, but I don't really think that that's feasible. Underbelly, barrel body. Or maybe I should just do the arms now. No, let's do the barrel. Let's do all these. Tail we can leave. Let's voxel remesh this the same, 240. And smooth it out. Okay, looks good. So now the arm, I think I want this arm back some. Okay, so these shoulders, we can validate and uninstance. And I'm just going to move these out and get rid of this. So where's these part of the arms? Upper arm. So might be easier. I'll just split it. Did I hit record again? I did. Okay. Sometimes you don't know if you're going crazy or not. So I'll just split it. So we have this upper arm. This is together with it. Nope. I knew I was going to get that wrong. Is it this upper arm? Okay, so these are together. These are together. Are all these pieces connected? Okay, so this should be that whole arm. Perfect. So if I just want to maybe tilt it a little bit more, let's do pivot, center, pivot. Oh, actually we should put the pivot at the shoulder. That's where the pivot should be, where it's connected. Oh, his poor little toes. So these are the toes, so we're going to validate them. We're going to join children, and then we're just going to split the toes as well. These are the ones that are connected to this arm, I think. Yes. So now we'll take all of these. We can move this back some. Just so they're a little different, you know? Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to move it so it's like touching the ground. And then I'm going to take these and just adjust. I actually don't even mind if these are like not completely perfect. I guess they look better like that though. Okay, so now they're a little different. Do I want to do the same thing with the legs? Okay, so in the drawing, this leg would be the one that's up a little bit further. So that's one whole piece. So let's choose front and split. And then we'll grab this one and can't really bend it. But maybe we could take move and just I don't think that it's worth it, to be honest with you. I feel like it's a little bit let's do a line so I can just move it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take select mask, I think, and just lasso up to where the knee is. And maybe just bend. I have to adjust the pivot. Well, let's see what the pivot looks like. Oh, that's better. So maybe just bend this a little bit. Clear it. Maybe I can smooth it so it doesn't look weird. Oops. Okay, that looks all right. Then I'll just use move to get it back to the ground. Drag. I'll use drag up here to kind of get it a little more into the there. So then they're a little different. I like that. So let's take this and do a little inflate here. Oh, of course, symmetry's on now when I don't need it. All right. Okay, so we'll do that. I think I don't even know if that makes sense. Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, maybe just a little of that. action helps. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. Do I want to turn the head yet? Well, actually there's no, I think it'd be fairly easy to still color the head. This one might be too wide. I don't think the nose is this wide in the front. So let's take these and move them, pivot, center, pivot. Oh, they're not in a... Okay, if it's not in a mirror anymore, let me do symmetry and then vertex, and then I should be able to control them as though they were. So let's bring that in, and then bring this in as well. But I want symmetry on. Move this down. And we'll puff out the front a little bit too. And down here, I think I want to flatten this. Oh, you know what it is? I think I just need to, I think it's just a little bit too flat. I think that's why it feels a bit funny. So I'll do that and then I'll just move it back, I think. And the back actually, oh, let me turn off the Y. We don't need that anymore. The back should actually get wider. Since the back is actually going to be the neck. Little bit. It's tricky. These details are kind of tricky, but I feel like they're so important. The shape of this mouth is like so important. Okay, I like that. I can deal with that. I can definitely deal with that. I'm going to use move. I think I want to just open this up a bit. Okay, so this shouldn't have holes there, so I think I need to, I'm not sure if I can drag these down on one side. Or if it's just better to do clay and build the clay up here. Or to just use like a sphere or something. But honestly, I think the best option would be to, are these together or they are together? So we'll use symmetry and drag. Let's see if I can just drag down from this side. It's actually not terrible. It's actually not so bad. Okay, let's hit it with a save. Oh, I got to start cooking. All right, I think that's good for now. I need to go start cooking, but decent progress. These feel a bit high now too. And I also have to make sure that the eye is forward enough. So many tricky little intricacies. Oh good, it's separate. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't box or remiss it together. So where is the pivot? Center, pivot. Take it off of a line. I guess it doesn't matter, but I want to pull it that way. Let's do symmetry and vertex. Can I still? Oh yes, I can. Good. Can move them in a little further. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Drag that up a little bit. Because the eyes can't be that far away from the nostrils. They're pretty close. So now I think I can put the eyes there. I might need to make these a little smaller maybe. But the eyes can't be that far away from the nostrils. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't start cooking. And I think the nostrils and everything needs to be tilted lower, unfortunately. I think I want to drag out the underside. And then I think I need to pinch. Looks nice. I wonder if this can, oh, pinch, you gotta be careful because it pulls from far away, which is useless. I don't know why it does that. It's very annoying. Oh, another thing about this part is this chin comes out quite a ways. So, drag. Dragging this middle part out. I think would help the shape of the face. That makes a little more sense. I think I need to, the only thing is I don't know if I want to have the mouth closed. That's the only thing. It might be cool to have the mouth like open a bit. Maybe not symmetrical. And have that like that. How cool would that be? I'd have to raise this nostril. I could use move and turn off symmetry. since they're just one piece. And then have a nice tooth. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, so, but now the question is do I merge everything else? Because it's tricky if I do this. But I feel like I do need to merge the jaw and merge all this stuff. Okay, so let's make some moves here. What is this? I keep forgetting what that is. That's the floor. Lower jaw. This is now the head. Nostrils and eye cages. Head. Lower jaw. I should just go for it, I think. But anyway, if this is all the head, then I should be able to turn it the way that I want to turn it. So I'm thinking if it's kind of like this, let's save this view. So if it's kind of like this, oh, the pivot's off though. I'm not going to be able to center it. Head, nostrils, eye cage, lower jaw. Why is it all the way out there? It's because of this stupid camera. Alright, let's turn this a little bit. Let's go to our view. It's actually more of a back view. And the head is turned more. Okay, so in that case, I don't know. Let's save this as view 2. This mouth is kind of bugs me. It's a little bit too low. I don't know why that's affecting me so much, but it is. Oh, did I already? Okay, local, world, local. Oh yeah, the symmetry is way off now because I turned it. Isn't it? Did I merge all of this? But I didn't. Why is it not letting me? What's the symmetry look like on this? The symmetry's off on this. I wonder why. I can edit the symmetry. It's not great, but I like that I have the option to do it. I mean, it looks like it's pretty much center. Let's see. So if I use Flatten. Oh yeah, it's flattening. Just want this to be a little pointier. Oh, forgot. Okay, let me just protect this because now it's getting on my nerves. Okay, we'll clear that. Let's see how that looks. Hmm. All right, I think it might be time to merge all that. I think it looks okay from here. I think that's doable. This needs a little bit more. I don't know, some sort of sometimes things just don't read as natural. Sometimes they just need like something else. Sometimes they just need more like anatomy. That's what it really is. And sometimes that's what I'm searching for. Like I'm searching for things that will anatomically look correct in a sense. Like these little like connecting muscles. I just think they make such a difference. Okay, so we need to get this turned. So I think, oh yeah, that looks good. This part needs to be going towards the head. So that might just be a move. Okay. Okay, so now if this neck is turned, then I need to make some adjustments here. With clay tool. I think that's right, but let me double check. Let me just think how the neck would be. So if the neck is turned, I think it might, the skin might fold like this, actually. And I think they would come together up here. And this bit, I think that makes sense. Okay, and then maybe I'll just stretch. I'll just try to stretch these so it can look like this is continuing. And this, I think I should drag this up so it's more of a clean. But I like it, and I'm gonna save. And I think we're gonna voxel remesh pretty much everything, to be honest. I kind of like these shadows. I'm gonna see if I can cheat that with crease and sub. No, it just kind of makes it look weird. It's not terrible, but it doesn't really give me what I'm looking for. Let's see. I'm trying to get that plane. These aren't even together yet. Should I leave it or should I get rid of it? Because if I do it on that side, I kind of have to do it on this side too. Okay. All right, let's check out the length of the neck. How does that even look? Seems okay. Part of me wants the neck a little longer, but I think oh, I still didn't voxel remesh the nose and all that stuff. Sheesh. Nostrils, eye cage, head, lower jaw. We'll smooth this. We'll have to smooth, unfortunately, this, which I knew that would happen, but I always hate to see it. And there's really no way to make this look clean. It always like just attaches in the ugliest way possible, unfortunately. It's not terrible. Oh, I wish there was a way to not have them connect. I would, that would be amazing if the mask tool kept two parts from voxel remeshing together. That would be phenomenal. I don't know. I don't think I can leave it like that. It looks too bad. I mean, it looks absolutely terrible. So let's take off the low jaw and we'll do that at like 250. I might just have to live with that, I think. Look how badly this... There's got to be a better way. What if we voxel remesh this at 210? This at 200. What if we do it now? Nostrils, head, eye cage, voxel remesh, 250. Oh, still. Let's see what happens if we go higher. Or let's see what happens if we voxel remesh these two together. Oh, the nose, the nostrils. So I'm just voxel remeshing each piece higher. That's better. Oh, still. Head is 84. What if we subdivide the head? I mean, this is like making everything so huge still. Oh, interesting. So there's nothing I can do to just keep this looking the way it's looking and merge it with this. It's really quite odd. I do really high. It's a little bit better. That's so high. Well, anyway, we did it. Let's smooth. these connecting parts. Well, actually, before we get too crazy with that, where's the body? Okay, so let's take a look at these. So the sphere, I'm just going to subdivide it. Body's good. These legs are decent. Let's just try voxel remeshing them. Upper arm, barrel, body, all of this, all of this. What is this? So those are the toes. The tail as well. The head, not the lower jaw. Let's save first just in case. So let's do the whole thing at like 400. Let's see what we get. I think it looks pretty good. Make sure this is nice and get these parts nice and smoothed out so they look clean. This will always look bad. There's never any way to make that look good, unfortunately. It always attaches very ugly. And it's a shame. It would look so nice if it would just attach cleanly. Get that elbow. Arms look pretty good. Probably use flatten on them. As soon as my fiance goes to bed, the cat comes out of her little crawly hole and starts making noise and doing all other kinds of playing games. When a brother is trying to work. Okay, so now, do I want to do any extra little details, like add some muscle here? Like, I feel like there'd be a big old, like, muscle here. You know, like, I feel like maybe that's too human. Kind of like it. This one came out kind of ugly, but I guess I have to keep it now. Okay. Oh, and I lost the knee completely. We'll just leave that right there. Let's see if we can get some details back here. Oh, that's pretty clean. It's probably as clean as I'm going to get. Try to add a little bit of clay here. But you see the clay is adding even kind of strangely. So that might be the best that we're going to do. It would be kind of nice to put what would essentially be, I think I can use symmetry for this, like ribs. No, they just look like bad wrinkles. All right, so let's smooth out this head as much as we can. Let's move this part down. There we go, that's what I was trying to do. I want to move that up so it's right with that line. Oh, the symmetry is on. Okay. So what do these look like? They look like broken pieces of let's save. I need to add a cylinder. Move this up. So we'll do the radius, make one side thicker. They're not that long. It's kind of like this. Let's tilt it a little bit and then use a line and then stretch it. Maybe tilt it a little bit more and then stretch it. Excuse my stomach. Okay, I think something like that. Make the whole thing smaller. Can I still use this? Oh, I can. Okay, so let's validate this. Okay, so they're facing sort of, no, other way. They're kind of like this. So let's make one and see how we do. Okay, let's squeeze it a little bit. A little thicker. Okay, something like this, I think. And we can just clone. It's a lot of work, but they're varying like sizes and all that stuff, so you can kind of only do it the hard way, the long way. I'm not sure if those are on, yeah, I guess they're on the edge. Just gotta make sure they're on the edge. I love that. I think it looks so cool. Oh, that might be too low, I think. They don't go that low. I'm just connecting these in case I want to change one or something. So I'm just connecting them from now so I can collapse them. Although I do, maybe I'll just put this one as a small one there. I think I like that better. Kind of like them on the end. we go. Let's do a quick save. Let's take one of them, clone that. Let's use a line to bring it straight back into the tail. Tail stumps. How long have we been recording? I can't even see. 45 minutes. Okay, so we'll put that one there. Take it off of a line so I can spread this one out a little bit. Take them both, make them a little bit bigger. Oh, I see. So these are not going to be straight at all. I get you. I like how some of them are bigger. I'm gonna have to, let's do a line. So we'll do some editing with some tools to fix that. Okay, let's save. Okay, so I went back to the head and I went back to the gizmo edit. See how I can't even see it now. The gizmo edit to try and get can't even see it. Let me just undo. So here's the symmetry line. If you go to symmetry in gizmo edit, you can try to get it back to being symmetrical, or at least somewhat symmetrical. Well, I guess you guys already know because we did that. Oh, you know what? But it's going to take it off of the back. I think I want it more symmetrical on the back. So when I do those stripes, that might make it a little bit easier. I don't even think I smoothed his little tail. Smooth all this out. Looks good. Maybe a little crease action here. looks pretty good. We should smooth underneath here. Okay. Okay, so let's figure out this tree stump situation. So I'm thinking maybe we just use trim and lasso, because this needs to be two different. This is going to be interesting. So there's three main trunks that I have to figure out how to make them actually look like tree stumps. Flatten tool is not making it easy. Oh, actually, okay, so I think we need to protect everything else except for what we're working with. Because quite clearly, this thing is very susceptible. I just need to make this one thinner. Okay, I think that should be good. Smooth this out a bit. And clear the mask. Okay, so let's go back to our view and really try to get these trees right. Save this as 3. Oops. Okay, that's actually not bad. So if we just kind of drag this off into wherever, I think that's decent. I think it's believable. Okay, so we can have one puff here. We'll use tube and make another one over here. So we'll just use curve. Whoa. What in the world? Thank you. I don't know why I was being so crazy. All right, so this needs to go. Oops. sometimes when like it gets really hard to control, just to take a deep breath, relax. Otherwise, you'll go crazy. Quite literally go crazy. No, I don't like the hard turn, the hard angle. So this one's a little bit higher. I'm definitely doing profile. I wish it just had like a, I think you can save presets, right? It would just be so much easier if you could. Oh, that doesn't really help. It would help if you had some sort of other shape. Like a star. What does that even look like? It's not bad. I wish I could find what this top thing is. It's so hard to know. Oh, it's that. That makes it look like a piece of celery, though. I think we'll leave it like this. We'll do it something like that, because we're going to voxel remish these together anyway. So it'll be fine. So we have that there, and maybe we should... So big bushel, bushel, bushel. Okay, so let's... I don't know if I want these like little details here. Let's voxel remish and clone. Oh no. You know what? Clone it first. Then we'll voxel remish this. Because then we can take the clone and move it. We have a smaller branch here. I feel like I want to need this on the side though. Change the pivot on this. Okay, that's not bad actually. Let's check out our view. Well, it looks decent, but it's not low enough. So I'm going to clone, and then I'm going to do that. I thought I already voxel remeshed that. Or not voxel remeshed. You know what I mean. Validated. And even though we have, I think I'm only going to do 3, but oh, come on. I wanted to add to this one. Okay. I think I like that. Do a nice save. Excuse me. Okay, so I think that looks really nice. And part of me wants to, oh, I don't know if I need any up the middle. I was thinking about that. It looks like, I feel like there is a few in the middle. What do we think? Yeah, it looks like it makes sense. I want to have some not completely clean. I'm not too crazy about that. It's actually the opposite. This one is actually smaller. They actually get a little bit longer. Okay, how are these lining up? Okay, so these stumps are just a doozy. I probably should just join them all and just live with them. Because let's see if I can make the oh no, I want to be doing the opposite, making this part smaller. Kind of like that. Okay, I think these all look pretty good. All right, those are looking good. How's this looking? Let's make sure this is in the mesh. It's good. Do a quick save. And I really should voxel remesh all this stuff together now. Let's make these a little smaller. Okay. The only other thing, oh, there's probably other things I wanted to do to this part. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to add, I need to figure out what I want to do with the body. And if we're doing like creases here with sub, the only problem is this isn't symmetrical, I don't think. And this, they don't even go that way. It kind of looks like, that's probably just the shadow though. It's tricky because it kind of looks like there's something that goes like this, but I think it's just the shadow. Let's see how this looks. It does look nice. No, no symmetry. So this side would go probably like over the skin folds. Come out something like that. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. I think I'm okay with that. looks fairly natural. Can use symmetry on the body. Just looks like a nice detail that looks like it would make sense. Part of me also wants a pinch in the middle. Okay, I like that. Maybe just some inflate around some of these. Oh, it's not perfectly. I'm gonna have to turn symmetry off because they're not perfect. Like that. Now, do we have to do on these parts as well? Maybe a little bit won't help, won't hurt. Okay, so I think this looks pretty good. Okay, let's do a save. Looks good. 565K is not terrible either. All right, so I'm gonna have to vox remiss this pretty high. Excuse me, to pretty high though. Tail stumps join, because they're all. It's not like they're different colors. So I think we just take all of these. The head. What are these tubes? Validate that. Let's make sure this is everything. Everything except the lower jaw and the toes. Wait, where are the other toes? Oh no. No. You mean to tell me that these toes are attached? Oh, that's annoying. Something always gets through, I swear. All right, let's save. Let's voxel remesh. 425, let's see what happens. Looks pretty good. Come on. These are okay. These are just the tree stumps for the branches. So I'm not too worried about them at all. Yeah, these look pretty good back here. Just give them a little smooth so everything looks not nice and natural. But yeah, I think I'm good with that. All right, so let's save. So now I just need to do these little trees. I'm not sure the best way to do them. I think finding a base shape and then just layering in leaves. Oh, actually what I wanted, I think maybe something more simple. So I'm going to validate this. I'll do select mask. Sometimes you just kind of spend time on something and you don't really think about actually if it's what you want or not. I'll do round edge. I kind of want this to be a little bit more round. These kind of look better, you know? They're just like way more simple. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is my pet peeve when I can't move the things. Let's get this smaller. Let's get it on the main one. Maybe top view is best, because I cannot get them to go where I want them to go. Clone this guy. Okay, they're way too far back, number one. All right, that's a little better. now we're getting somewhere. Slowly, but we're getting somewhere. I love the idea of a little one here. Okay, I think that works. I don't think I need one further back. I like that. So what I'm thinking now is, well, first I have to make this work, don't I? Let's put a quick tube. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Looks good. Let's validate that. You know what? I guess I can't really. I don't want to connect it. I think I'm done with voxel remeshing on the main branch, but that's okay. I can always just do inflate. And it doesn't really need anything much more. And I think one more tube, or maybe two. This will require a tube. Let's see, let's do radius. Okay, that looks good. I kind of want to just validate it. Just live the crazy life. Just gonna validate it and add another one here. Maybe that kind of goes into the same thing. Whoops. Make this piece nice and big. I'll slide this over. I don't like the front view is a bit weak, but that's okay. It's not really made to be a front view. I'll widen this out a little bit. Oh, this widen is crazy. Okay, let's take this and oh good, I didn't validate it yet. Validate. Tube. Save and revoxel or remesh these two together. And they definitely don't need to be very big right now, so I'll decimate them once. This too. Decimate that. Okay, so there's got to be like a stamp or something I can use to make this easier. Do I have any leaf alphas? I don't think so. I guess I can make a leaf alpha. Make a square. Come on, I thought I had a square here. Let's do 800 by 800. Make this black. And let's use Canvas drawing guide, edit drawing guide. We want symmetry. Okay. And now we will use Disney Outliner, should be fine. I think that works. Clean it up a smidge. Okay. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Import photos. Thinking something like that? I don't really even know. Sometimes I'm terrible with this stuff. Okay, so the only problem is, A, they keep it's upside down. The quality is horrible. I would have to to subdivide. And that's not going to work anyway. Okay, well, we tried. There's some nice vines too. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'll split. Maybe I'll try to split this. Radial split. Let me solo this so I can trim it. So maybe I'll just do little like clone. Okay, so something like that works. I like that. So let's clone this. Let's take all of these together and join them. So this will be leaf trio, leaf single, and the good thing is the leaf trio is just joined, so we can place them and then we can kind of change them around. The hardest thing is just dealing with this gizmo and actually placing them and moving them. So I think I can do move. And kind of adjust them as I need, or as I want. That's a good start. Oh, these are the trees. Tree bases. This can be joined with that. Tree trunks. So there's going to be a lot of these clones. Okay. I would say that that probably doubles my work time when I'm working with the gizmo, is just pressing the wrong thing, because there's too many things in one spot. Okay, I need to fix this gizmo, because it is not helpful. This is reminding me of the bubble tea. Just like doing things like the little bubbles in there is just like, there's so many. It never stops. It's 2:20 a.m. Should get some sleep, I think. Because I have a long way to go on this. But I don't think I have to record it all. I mean, I'm just going to do the same thing all over, pretty much. So yeah, I'll come back. And then I need to work on the eyes and the teeth.